What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of F1 Fantasy Pole Position. It is Friday, July 25th. My name is Ewan. On today's final thoughts episode, I'm going to give you my final thoughts before the Belgian Grand Prix because I will be at Spa tomorrow. I'll be watching the sprint race and qualifying right there on the ground. So no deadline stream from me, but there will be a cool down episode on Sunday evening. And if you are enjoying what you're seeing around the F1 Fantasy Pole Position Garage, don't forget to drop a like and hit the subscribe button. We're almost at 3,500 before the summer break, so I would greatly appreciate any support in reaching that number. But you came for final thoughts, so I'm going to give them right now. The squad is Piastri, Alonso, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Behrman, McLaren, Ferrari. And if we look at the sprint quali results, there's still a lot to go around. The weather is still up in the air. It was beautiful today in Spa, looking at what was going on in the race. Alex Jakes and Julian Palmer were talking about how roasting it was in the commentary box, and it looked fantastic. So hopefully everyone had a great time out there. Hopefully it stays dry for me and my wife tomorrow. Hopefully it's not too crazy weather, but we'll see how it goes. But sprint results here, or sprint quality results here: Piastri, Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Ocon, Sainz, Behrman, Gasly, Hadjar, Gabriel Bortoleto. And then we got Lewis Hamilton down here in 18th. We got Kimi Antonelli down in 20th. Nico Hülkenberg's out there. So Hülkenberg, easy holds. I mean, he'll probably gain some places. The next kind of discussion topic would be like Hamilton or Russell. Are they worth bringing in? Do they give us enough upside? And at the time of recording, there are no more simulations from F1 Fantasy Tools yet. I'm sure there will be some overnight. You can follow me on X at F1 Fantasy Ewan. I will tweet those out whenever they go live, and I'll kind of give my morning before final thoughts as well, but just want to get this video out. So if I'm looking at these results, it feels pretty safe to keep Oscar. There is still a little bit of like a 3x in the back of my mind. If you're going limitless, I think Hamilton is a great shout. Russell could maybe get in there as well, but I'd probably prioritize Hamilton over Russell. But for my squad, Piastri, Alonso, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Behrman, McLaren, Ferrari. Looking at the team calculator, it's kind of okay. I think I was kind of talking about this earlier in the week that I had 3 moves. I could do nothing at all and just burn this transfer and have 3 for Hungary. I could go with the triple McLaren lineup where I bring out Ferrari and Ocon and I put in Lando and kick Sauber. That's still an option because I like how McLaren is looking. Kick Sauber looked good. I enjoy that Bortoleto got top 10. That's great for him. But Hülkenberg being down there, Bortoleto being up in 10th as him as a driver is a little bit scary, especially for the sprint. We've got Russell, Hamilton, the 2 Aston Martins behind him as well. So something to consider. There could be some early points being lost there, especially if we go to the budget builder. Bortoleto needs 9 points to avoid a drop this weekend. So starting off on the back foot after a sprint race is not ideal for him. It's great for him personally, just not for F1 fantasy purposes. Hülkenberg's a lock. Behrman, I feel good about the Haas team in general. Behrman being up here, where'd he finish again? In 7th, could be looking at losing a couple of points tomorrow, but it looks good for Haas in general, but Gasly, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Lawson, Tsunoda behind him. Russell is a little bit back from that, so if Behrman can get a clean start, Ocon and Behrman should be okay to hold on to some points. They may lose, I can't really see Ocon losing a position to like the Williams or Behrman, his teammate. So Ocon should be okay and get a few points there tomorrow in the sprint. And Haas looked really good in qualifying, so they should be fine. There's no simulation data from F1.com as well at this time. So kind of just going with gut and what I saw on the racetrack today. Hamilton is interesting, like I mentioned as well, but so this was another option, going triple McLaren double triple McLaren double kick Sauber. That's still in the back of my mind, but I think with Hamilton qualifying so far down, I feel like Ferrari is going to be a really strong constructor this weekend. And it's a little bit boring, but maybe just bringing in Lance Stroll. He's in 14th, 15th for the sprint qualifying. Should probably move up a couple of spots here, you'd think. We'll see what Aston Martin does, but double Aston Martin, very nerve-wracking to have Lance Stroll as a part of my F1 fantasy team. But this was the third option. It was probably the one I was the coldest on Wednesday night during the Q&A stream and on Monday's update team selection topics for the transfer targets. But this gives me flexibility for Hungary. It would still allow me to kind of go to the triple McLaren build if I wanted to go there for Hungary, if they look super strong after 3 free practices. But Oscar just looks so on it, I don't really see a reason to get away from him. I guess the other option is that I could bring in like Lewis Hamilton, and maybe that should give me enough to get to Haas, which is a little bit interesting as well. This is maybe like an outside shot for me right now. 3 extra DRS boost, not on McLaren, feels a little too out there, but it could be a nice little like differential to bring in Hamilton. I mentioned him on my early team selection and like my A-tier driver rankings earlier in the week on X at F1 Fantasy Ewan. So you could definitely check that out. This is a little bit out there for me, but it is something that I'm considering. I know there's a lot of people asking about chips. No negative. I'm just going to be watching the weather until like the last hour while I'm at the track, and then I'll decide about no negative. Autopilot, I don't think this is the weekend to activate that chip right now. Extra DRS boost, I can totally see the merits in that. The only way I would play is probably triple McLaren right now, because Lando and Piastri still look mighty strong. I expect Lando to make up a couple of spots in this sprint tomorrow, or 1 spot above Max in the sprint tomorrow if he can put it together. Max did, for what it's worth, Max looked really strong in qualifying. The Red Bull kind of balanced more out between sectors 1, 2, and 3 in qualifying compared to what we saw in practice. So that was a little bit encouraging. And you know that Red Bull always makes that step from Friday to Saturday. So maybe we'll see a little bit more in the sprint tomorrow for Max, see if he can really put Oscar Piastri under pressure. But I think for right now, my final thoughts would be that it's likely going to be Ocon or Stroll in my lineup, and I'm probably just going to be keeping McLaren and Ferrari. We'll see what the sims say. We'll see what the data says. Maybe something can swing my mind. But Behrman's fine, Alonso's fine, Hülkenberg's fine. Alonso and Stroll finishing 14th and 15th in the sprint qualifying is fine by me. I feel pretty good about Aston Martin. They've brought a couple of upgrades this weekend. I believe they are. Alonso is testing a new nose or a front wing for the car. But McLaren and Ferrari, McLaren look fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Ferrari might be in the mix with Red Bull and Mercedes with this rear suspension update. Charles is looking fine, and Lewis qualifying 18th means that he should get quite a few positions gained and overtake the points tomorrow, which will help Ferrari as well over the course of the weekend. So yeah, I think this is kind of where I'm going to be ending up. Let me know your lineup decisions in the comments below if you're watching this before the 12 p.m. local time deadline for the sprint race tomorrow. And you can see above my head right now the F1 Fantasy Summer Break Survey. Make sure you are taking that. We're over 160 responses now. So if you want to get your opinion in for 7 questions about the first half of the F1 Fantasy season, let me know by scanning that QR code or clicking the link in the description below. But yeah, that's kind of my final thoughts all put out there. I think I'm just going to be kind of boring this week, but there are plenty of exciting options left on the table. Ocon to Stroll, I might keep Ocon. It just feels like a little bit safer, given that Stroll needs -8 points and 0 points for price rise compared to Ocon's 1 and 9, and he has more ways to go up in price, whereas Ocon could fall down. And the only chip I'm probably thinking about playing is no negative if we get a little bit of a closer to the deadline lineup lock kind of weather report saying that it is going to be mixed conditions all throughout Saturday and Sunday. But don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are not subscribed yet, as we go towards 3,500 before the summer break. And once again, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.